Joan García, Nico Williams. The new look Barca team is scary. Flick surprised everyone by winning 3 trophies in his first season, and he did it with just one big signing. He took the team that Xavi left them and transformed them into the best side in Europe. And now with Real Madrid going through a transitional period with a new manager, Barca have a chance to really dominate La Liga. Everyone around the club sees it, hence the investments that are being made to help Flick's project. The team dominated in 2025, but even amongst the great moments, there were some cracks that began to show. Things that were holding Barca back from complete dominance. Well, those issues were identified and immediately fixed, with the first being the goalkeeping situation. For years, a small share of Barca fans consistently talked about how Ter Stegen wasn't elite as he used to be, that despite some great league campaigns like 2023, he was very unreliable in big Champions League nights. They were correct, as Flick identified after just one season that a new goalie was needed. Well, enter Joan García, a talented young goalie who basically single-handedly stopped Espanyol from getting relegated. When you look at the statistical comparison between Ter Stegen and García, you understand why this change was needed. As you can see, besides number of passes and long passes accuracy, García dominates Ter Stegen in basically every category. He is a significantly better shot stopper, he performs more defensive actions, and he's better in the air. Now of course he played for a worse team, so naturally he's going to be forced to make more saves, more defensive actions. When you are a goalie on a relegation level team, you basically get peppered with shots. But the thing is, not only did García have the most saves in La Liga, he also had the best save percentage. That efficiency is what makes him such a great goalie and why he's such a good fit for Barca, because naturally now he's going to face less shots, but he's going to have to be more clutch than ever, because there's only going to be a few opportunities where he's going to be tested, but in those opportunities he has to be on his toes and he has to bail out the team with a save. According to The Athletic, García prevented 8 goals based on the quality of shots that he faced. He also claimed the most crosses. This part should really get Barca fans excited, because Ter Stegen never dominated his box. I mean, I have to constantly show this Suarez clip. Ter Stegen would never come off his line, but García is the opposite. He dominates his box. He also managed to keep 8 clean sheets in the 2025 season, which is actually very impressive when you consider the fact that Espanyol had a leakier defense than Bonnie Blue. He was keeping Espanyol in games they had no business staying in. In just his second La Liga match, García made 7 saves to earn a clean sheet away at Atletico Madrid. A few days later, he helped Espanyol win their first match of the season against Rayo Vallecano. On tougher nights like facing Real Madrid and Real Betis, García stood tall. Against Madrid, he made 10 saves, and Espanyol still got bent over and hammered 4-1. Against Betis, he made 10 saves again, and he saved the penalty, and they still lost. He was the only reason that Espanyol ever had a chance in any match. In February of 2025, Espanyol actually beat Real Madrid 1-0, back when Madrid were at the top of the table. And the only reason they won this game was because of García. Against Valencia, he made a save so acrobatic that they called him the Blue and White Angel. His highlight saves actually became a regular thing. He won La Liga Save of the Month for both February and March, the first player ever to win it back-to-back. One of the saves was a lightning-fast reaction to a powerful shot from Lucky Bacchio at Sevilla. He also saved 2 penalties in a single game against Mallorca. Now, just to put it into context, Ter Stegen has 2 penalty saves in total throughout his entire La Liga career. If we go back to that data MB chart, you will also notice that Joan García had a higher short passing percentage. And that's because García is also very good with his feet. He isn't just a good shot stopper. And I would argue the only reason his long passing percentage is worse is because he played on an Espanyol team that couldn't string together 2 passes. So he constantly had to hoof the ball up to nobody just to relieve the pressure from the back line. He really is the perfect modern day goalie. He's fast, he's calm, brave. His biggest strength is of course his shot stopping. He's fantastic in 1v1 situations. He doesn't panic, he stays big, reads the situation, and reacts accordingly. Time after time, he stopped what looked like certain goals, which is great because I feel like Ter Stegen at times is the opposite. He makes very savable shots look impossible. Coaches and journalists have said that García has that real clutch gene, the kind of player who makes that one save that changes everything. A draw becomes a win, a loss becomes a point. And that's exactly what Barca need, because Barca don't get peppered with shots. They just need a goalie who can pull out that miracle save when they need it the most. And there's one more thing. Garcia plays like an extra defender. He reads the game well and is very comfortable rushing out the box to stop through balls before they become dangerous. He has all the qualities needed to be a real sweeper keeper. He knows when to come out to clean up behind the back line. And Barca desperately needs someone like that because of how high of a line Flick likes to play. Having a goalie who is both comfortable on the ball and knows when to come off his line to sweep behind the back line is so important. It makes the team so solid defensively. But in my opinion, more than anything, this move shows that Barca are becoming more ruthless. I mean, firstly, they're taking a 24-year-old keeper from their city rivals. This guy came through Espanyol's academy. He's a local kid, and they just casually brought him in. Then secondly, it's a sign to Ter Stegen that times have changed. He had gone too complacent, never wanting any competition. Remember, it was Ter Stegen who essentially forced the club to sell Bravo in 2016. He said he doesn't like the dual keeper system and he will leave if he isn't between the sticks for every match. Then there was the report that came out that Ter Stegen refused to address the fans during the La Liga celebrations at the end of the 2025 season. Apparently he was frustrated over his limited playing time, but he thought he was going to go straight back into the lineup during the business end of the season after he had just recovered from a long-term injury. Also, let me remind you guys, he wasn't looking that great before the injury either. Then it gets worse. Another report came out that stated Ter Stegen refused to travel to Milan for the second leg of the Champions League. Reportedly, he had asked Deco to talk to Flick about his playing time. Yeah, he didn't even look the manager in the eye to make this request. He had to have a third party do it for him. Then when Flick naturally said no, Ter Stegen didn't go with the team. Keep in mind, this guy's the captain. He's supposed to be a leader in the dressing room. Injured players flew to Milan to watch that game, but Ter Stegen was clearly more invested in himself than the team as a whole. So when you add up all these events, all reported by some credible sources, it's obvious that a keeper change was so desperately needed. Not only is the current version of Joan García better than Ter Stegen, but it was time to turn over a new leaf. It was time for a new era. And it took Flick just 1 year to realize this. And keep in mind, Flick also knows Ter Stegen from the German national team, so he has literally zero faith in the German goalie. García doesn't just help the team now, but he's also the future of this club. And it's nice now because players know, do not be complacent. There is no room for complacency and nostalgia about what you did in the past when the club is trying to win a Champions League. Now, while the keeper situation was figured out, it was also time for Barca to strengthen their attack. And who better than Yamal's son? What's great about this signing is that we have already seen what an attack with these two looks like. Just watch Spain's first goal against England in the Euro 2024 final. That entire campaign was a taste of what these guys could achieve together at Barca. A dynamic duo capable of punishing any team. Look at their touches versus Italy. They basically took turns raw dogging the Italian fullbacks. Nico Williams was so good that match that he won man of the match without a goal or assist. Not one of the lasagna lovers could defend him. Then after, he completely cooked Georgia. A beautiful individual goal that was a reminder that he is the type of winger that can create something out of nothing. In that match, he also became the only player on record at the Euros since 1980 to score a goal, assist a goal, and complete 100% of his passes in a game he started. And of course, in the same match, Yamal was making history on the right side by creating the most chances ever by a player under 21 in a Euro knockout game. I'm telling you, these two, they're two peas in a pod. They're practically dating each other at this point. And then of course in the final they linked up again. And yet another man of the match performance from Nico Williams. Like, all the hype around the tournament was about Yamal and it should have been he was fantastic. Then Rodri ended up winning the Euros player of the tournament. But Nico Williams deserves a lot of appreciation for how good he was in the entire campaign. Such a good player. He has all the qualities that Hansi Flick is looking for in a winger. He stretches the pitch, he takes on his man, and he runs non-stop. That kind of relentless engine is exactly what the German is looking for. The biggest advantage of signing Nico Williams is that Barcelona have yet another top dribbler. Just like his Spain teammate Yamal, Nico is known for constantly beating defenders with his speed and skill. In the 2025 season in La Liga, only Yamal had more successful dribbles per 90 minutes than Nico, and across Europe's top 4 leagues, only Doku had more than them both. Having a left winger that can cut inside is going to help Barca create so many more chances. Because when Nico Williams dribbles into the middle of the park, it creates chaos for the opposition. They have to make a decision on the fly. Does the fullback follow Nico into the middle, or do they pass him off to a midfielder? And imagine, at the same time that he's cutting in, Balde is overlapping him. That much pace and power on one side is too much for any backline to deal with. Then with the ball, Williams can create more chances for players like Rafinha and Yamal. Because I want to remind you guys, Nico Williams is not coming in to replace Rafinha. He's coming in to add another profile to the team to make Barca better. With Nico on the left, Rafinha can play through the middle as the 10, and we have already seen him cook there. And now, no team can double Yamal, because that will leave Nico Williams and Rafinha too open. And as you saw in the Euros final, Nico Williams on his own is too deadly. The reason that Rafinha works so well as an attacking midfielder is because under Flick, his best quality is his relentless runs in behind, which now he can do more of through the middle because he has more freedom. Like sometimes when I'm having these discussions, I feel like people don't watch Barca. Balde was way more of a left winger than Rafinha was. Look at the difference in the heat maps between the Brazilian and Nico Williams from the 2025 season. As you can see, despite both being a left winger, they occupy different areas of the pitch. Williams plays like the classic winger. He stays wide near the sideline. Rafinha, on the other hand, has been given more freedom by Flick. He often moves into the central areas, just outside the box. And he was literally playing as an attacking midfielder or a number 10. According to data from Skill Corner, no player received the ball between the lines in La Liga in the 2025 season than Rafinha, which is a reminder to everyone that despite being listed as a left winger, Rafinha operated as a more central figure. In fact, he started as the number 10 in the first 3 games of the season, you know, back when Olmo couldn't get registered. But since Barca didn't have an elite left winger, Flick put him on the left as soon as Olmo was available. And I mean, look at the positions that Rafinha has played across the pitch in his career since 2021. This is a guy that can play anywhere. So no, the guy who just had a Ballon d'Or worthy campaign is not being dropped. He's just being complemented by another player who can create something out of nothing by himself. Add in the fact that Olmo misses 4 months a year regularly, and that attacking mid-role is all Rafinha's. Now you may be saying, well, what about Fermin Lopez? Guys, we live in a time in football where depth is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. The club is in 4 different competitions. Everybody's gonna get their chance. Flick needs to be able to rotate without seeing a drop-off in quality. And have you seen Barca's winger depth? It's practically non-existent. You can't just go from Rafinha and Yamal to Pau Victor and Ansu Fati. But that's literally exactly what was happening in 2025. The other issue for Barca was that even though they scored for fun, they attacked a lot through the middle. As you can see, no side in La Liga funneled their attack through the middle more than Barca. Peep the right side too. 36% of attacks going through just Yamal. What a beast. The problem with the middle approach is that when you play those haram low blocks, it's very difficult to break them down. When Leganés and Mallorca are putting their whole team, fans, director of football, and the water boy behind the ball, you are not going to get through just forcing it down the middle. You need to have width. And since Yamal loves to cut inside, and Rafinha was already in the middle, it was basically just Balde that was actually stretching the opposition. With Nico Williams added to the mix, Barca finally have natural width on both sides. Very much like the setup that we saw Spain use. Look at this graphic right here. It shows Nico Williams' preference to attack down the line and stay wide. By him staying wide and being able to cut inside, he becomes so dangerous. Because from there, he can see the space in front of him and go at defenders one-on-one. He's fast and strong, pushing the ball past defenders into space. But he's not a running merchant like Valverde. He's also skilled in tight areas. He uses clever body movement to trick defenders and create space to go past them on either side. That's what I love about him. He doesn't just have to cut inside to beat his man. He can beat him on the outside. Listen to this clip right here about Henry specifically talking about wingers that can beat their defender going to the touchline.
I respect people that also want to beat their fullback on the outside.
Yeah.
That's when I know you're a good dribbler. If you come inside 1-2 with the 9 or go inside and curve it, even now, I don't know if I would score. It's easy to dummy, going back inside and shoot. Beat your guy on the outside, that's why I know you're a good dribbler, because then you dislodge everything. Center back has to come and meet you, then you free your 9 inside.
Fortunately, Nico can do both. Then when he gets that bit of space that he's looking for, he can do 3 things. He can either go to the touchline and cross the ball back in, he can cross it in directly like he did against Barca in the Copa del Rey, or he can go further inside himself, and shoot it himself. Nico Williams doesn't just help Barca on the ball. His off-the-ball movement and pressing is also perfectly suited for the way that Hansi Flick likes to play. In the 2025 La Liga season, he made 112 high turnovers, which is a stat that measures how many times a player won the ball back in advanced areas. Guess who were the only 2 players that had more of that stat than him? Rafinha and Yamal. So his hunger to press and win the ball back means Barcelona's pressing will stay strong wherever he is on the pitch. For me, he's a player who will only get better when surrounded by more talent. It's pretty obvious from watching his performances for Spain. For those of you worried about his output, don't be. Remember, Rafinha never had a season where he scored more than 20 goals before Flick came in. And now under the German manager, he's putting up Messi and Ronaldo-esque numbers. Flick, he's like steroid for wingers. It's such a low risk, high reward signing. He's already adjusted to the league and the country, he's friends with everyone on the team, and he's a player who has so much untapped potential. And if you want to buy your Nico Williams jersey early, just go to buygamejerseys.com and use code PETTALKS for a discount. What's great is that Barca aren't even done with their signings. They are reportedly still trying to sign Rashford for more depth, even with the signing of Nico Williams. That would be huge because Rashford is another left winger that can do a lot of damage. With lower wages, that's a great player to have in the team because his issue of being inconsistent, it's irrelevant for Barca because they're not relying on him every single week. There's also reports about Grimaldo coming in, which would also be fantastic because there is no left back depth. The drop off from Balde to Gerard Martin is way too big. Not just in terms of quality, but because there's such different profiles. Respect to Martin for trying his best. He even got that nice assist against Inter Milan. But at the end of the day, I don't think this guy is Barca quality. Barca need another fullback who can actually help attacking wise. Because without Balde, even Rafinha didn't look the same. Flick's system doesn't work with a center back playing at left back, no matter how good that guy is on the ball. I don't know how this guy hasn't been signed before. He's Spanish, a La Masia graduate, a fantastic left back, really good on the ball. I always thought that he was going to be the Jordi Alba replacement, yet he somehow ended up in Germany after leaving Benfica. Now, I didn't cover the rest of the established guys because I've made a whole separate documentary on all of those players. You have to watch it right here.